I welcome you guys back into my video. I have my course 191 over here, How to Courage Today. I realize it's How to Courage Today. You have to understand, in order for you to have some courage today, you have to understand that you need to be a better person. You have to understand it's about attitude. You have to understand it's about something that you're going to do today that's going to help you to build confidence, because confidence is key when you're in an attitude of gracefulness in terms of life. You understand? Because those people who have grace will do anything in life to succeed. So make sure you're that type of person who can lift up others, because that's how you build courage. I mean, courage is doing street performance and making sure that other people can look at you, because you can speak and you can have the attitude that you need that is better than yesterday, because that's courage. You understand? I promise you, those people who can teach something and also promote their social media on the poster, you understand? Because that's for free. I mean, I do street performance for free. You have to understand, that's what you do every single day. You understand? Because those people who can are doing it right now. You have to understand, those people who love their life are the ones who are living it right now. You have to understand, it's really about living in reality, because those people who really take action every single day are the ones who are able to promote themselves in front of people, because that's how you build courage. You understand? I promise you, those people who understand what life is are the people who are living in the moment, and they're able to read every single day, because that's how you build courage. You understand? The more knowledge you have, I promise you, the more you can speak like a public speaker. I need you to understand, a public speaker is a person who does their content every single day about something motivational or something that you're passionate about. I promise you, there's always a public speaker in your area of life. I hope that it's you today. I promise you that those people who can get in front of a crowd can build their courage even more, because guess what? When you're in front of a crowd, you have to practice your communication skills, and you have to make sure that you record yourself in the process, because if you just keep talking without recording it, you have to help more people. So it's a bigger purpose to make sure that you're recording yourself, so that you understand that you can build more from it. You have to understand there's 7 billion people and more in the planet. You have to make sure that your video is going to every single one of them. So make sure, no matter what, you have Instagram today, because that way you're going to promote yourself, and that way you're going to build some courage in front of people, because you have to speak, you have to have a better attitude, you have to be a positive mind, because that's how that's how to courage. That's how to build courage. You have to understand that those people who can communicate every single day and do something positive are the ones who are really doing it today in terms of freedom. I promise you, they're working for freedom more than they are working for money. I realize that when someone says they work for 20 bucks an hour, I realize they're worth 20 bucks in life. You understand? So guess what? I work for free because I'm worth freedom. You understand? I work for free in life. I never worked a 9-to-5 job. I have no boss. You understand? Because my only boss is me in life. I am my own boss. You understand? So guess what? That's how to build courage. You never let others tell you what to do. You understand? Because you're worth more than a labouring job. You're worth more than a warehousing job. You're worth more than an office job. I don't care what you're doing on 9-to-5. You're worth more than that. You understand? Because guess what? When they put a price tag on you, you become a slave to the money. I never need you to become a slave to money. I need you to understand to become something bigger, so that you never have to be a slave. You understand? Because that's how to courage in life. I promise you, those people who understand what courage is, you understand that it's enthusiasm. You understand that it's charisma. You understand? Because those people who have charisma are the ones really living it. I promise you, they're the ones who achieve it. I promise you, they're the ones who are doing it. I promise you, they're the ones who are being more every day. I promise you, they're the ones who are better than yesterday. I promise you, they're the ones who are positive. I promise you, they're the ones who can do something about it. I promise you that courage is the foundation of confidence, and when you have it, you understand that you have focus, you understand that you have peak performance, you understand that you have health, because health is wealth. You understand? I promise you, those people who have wealth are able to focus on themselves more than other people, because that's health also. You have to understand, health over wealth. I promise you, when you have health, you also have wealth. I promise you, those people who understand the gift of what they have in life are the ones who are lifting anyway. I promise you, they're the ones who are lifting themselves. I realize they're lifting themselves regardless and either way. You have to be that type of person who can lift other people. You have to understand, when you're lifting others, you will also be lifted. You have to understand, leadership is courage. I promise you, those people who have courage are the ones who can get up every single day and do it. You understand? Because guess what? I promise you that those people who are watching me, I promise you that you will learn something from this video. You understand? Because I'm here for the next 3 hours, really improving my communication skills, because guess what? That's how to courage. You understand? You do it in front of people. You have to understand, I get tens and thousands of people walking past the tunnel here in Brisbane. You have to understand that I will promote myself, I build my legacy, and guess what? Nobody's going to do it for you. You understand? Because guess what? That's your responsibility to build your own name. You understand? So guess what? You have to do it in the streets sometimes. You understand? So guess what? Just be a positive person anyway, and make sure that you're always improving, because you came to work today, you never came for anybody else. You understand? You came to do something greater today. You make sure to be that type of person who's waking up every day and you have attention on you every single day, because that's how to live life much better. You have to understand that's how to courage. You understand? Because those people who understand what life is are the ones who can be more courageous about it. You're being more courageous, you're being a public speaker, you're being a nice, beautiful attitude, because guess what? You deserve to be a nice and beautiful person. You understand? So make sure that you're never rude. I promise you that if you swear at people, you'll always be rude. You understand? So never be that type of person, because that's never how to build courage. Because those people who swear at other people are toxic people. I need you to stay away from those people. I need you to understand that when you're a person who speaks nicely and you're speaking better than yesterday, and you improve your communication skills in a way that you understand that no matter what happens, you're just honestly just focusing inside of yourself, because guess what? Other people are going to be jealous of you because you're doing something. You understand? You have to understand they're doing nothing, those people. So guess what? Just lift yourself anyway, because that's how to build courage. You understand? So make sure that you're always that type of person who can do it. You have to understand you just have to believe in yourself. You have to do something that's really positive. You have to understand that you deserve success, so make sure you're showing up for it every single day, because here I am in front of people today. I'm showing up for success today. I'm showing up every single day. You understand? I'm showing up to do my work. I promise you, if somebody has a problem with me, I promise you can step up and ask me right now, what's your problem? You understand? Because guess what? There's no problem in life. I promise you, when you focus on problems, you'll understand that you are a problem. You understand? You ask, what's the solution today? You understand? Because the solution is always making sure that you're lifting yourself. I promise you, every single day, I make sure to prepare for the next day, because the next day is going to help me even more, which is this moment anyway. You understand? Because those people who never prepare for the week ahead, and the month ahead, and the year ahead, and the decade ahead, and the century ahead, you have to understand, you have to live for the next century in life. You have to make sure that you have that goal in mind. You have to understand that for the next 100 years, you have to live. You have to understand, you say, I can do it. You have to live for the next 100 years. You understand? Because that's your goal. You understand? I promise you, if that's not your goal, you've already failed. You understand? So make sure that you can do everything you can to live a longer life, because that's how to courage. You understand? I promise you, a longevity life, which is a long life. I promise you, those people deserve it. I promise you that if you become a vegan today, you increase your energy. I promise you, that's how to courage, because those people have more energy. I promise you, they have more happiness. And the happiness that you have in life is your courage. You have to understand. You increase your vibrancy, you increase your energy, you increase the person you are in terms of your wisdom. I promise you, that's how to courage. I promise you, no matter what, just be a person who can do it every day. I promise you, you have to show up for it every single day. You have to be a person who can do it every single day. You understand? So make sure that you build the courage inside of you. You have to understand that courage is always built through more writing. You have to write more. You have to understand you have to public speak more. You have to do everything more. You understand? You have to live more. I promise you, every time you live more, you're going to be a person who's going to build more courage. You understand? So make sure that when life is kicking you down, you're lifting life up, because that's how you're going to succeed. You understand? You succeed by lifting up. You never succeed by kicking people down. You be a person who can really succeed in a way that you understand that you're teaching others to lift, because that's the only way to succeed. You understand? Because that's the only way you can do anything in life. I promise you, there's nothing else that is greater than lifting other people. You understand? So make sure you're doing your work anyway. I promise you that it's the best work in the world to make sure that you're lifting others. You understand? Because when you lift yourself, you're going to become better than yesterday, and that's the whole point. I promise you, the whole point of life is to become a better person for yourself in something greater. You become a better person, and if people have a problem with you, you have to understand that you go and mind your business. You understand? You mind your business, because guess what? There are no problems in life. I promise you, people make them up. You understand? I promise you, problems are made up scenarios. You understand? I promise you, there's always a solution, and it's just the negative people who are speaking about problems. You understand? So speak about solutions, and you'll be a positive person who can have the courage. You understand? Because that's how you realize to build courage. You build courage through solutions. I promise you, those people who have solutions are the ones who can have the courage in life. You understand? Because guess what? When you're teaching something and you're growing from it, and you realize that you're a positive attitude about it, you have to understand that's the only difference. I promise you, the only difference in life is make sure you're successful. I promise you, make sure you're doing your work. I promise you, make sure that you're doing something in regards to what you're doing that's greater than you. You have to understand, you have to focus on something greater than you in order to build some confidence and some courage. Because guess what? What is greater than me today? I promise you, it's the work I do that's going to help someone to succeed. I promise you, that's the only greatest thing in life. I promise you that when you're kinder and you're lifting other people, you're also going to be lifted. I promise you, those people who can speak are the ones who are doing it. You have to understand, when you're speaking, you have to lift with that. You have to lift yourself. You have to lift people. You have to lift what you can in life, because that's the only difference. I promise you, the difference is that you become kind and compassionate, because that's how to build courage. You understand? You have to understand that no matter what happens, just be a person who's really speaking it in a way that you're growing for yourself in something greater, because that's the only difference. You have to understand the only difference is make sure that you're better than yesterday. You be better than yesterday because it's worth to be a better person. I promise you, it's worth to be something greater. So make sure that you understand that is how to build courage. You understand? So make sure no matter what, you get some information in, you get some information, some positive wisdom. You have to understand that when you have some positive wisdom in life, you're going to really excel. You're going to excel in a way that you're always doing something more amazing than yourself. You understand? Because you're never in competition with other people. You're a person who's really delivering something of quality. You have to understand, when you're a quality person, you're a person who has courage. You understand? Because there are too many quantity out here. You have to understand, it's really that we go inside and we become more quality like that. Because those people who are looking inside are more quality people who have more courage. You have to understand that I'm never focusing on the crowd. I'm focusing what's inside, and I'm giving that. You understand? Because that's how I improve. I never improve other people, I improve myself, and that's why I improve other people. You understand? Because it's about improving yourself first, and then you can improve other people. You understand? You never improve other people first when you're dying. You understand? You lift yourself, you never die in life, you're never going to die. You have to understand, you never be scared of death, and you never show people sympathy, because sympathy, I realize that sympathy is feeling sorry for people. I realize that sympathy is, you're crying in a really sorrow way. I never need you to cry in a sorrow way. I need you to be joyful about it. I need you to understand, when you're crying, I need you to ask yourself a question. Am I being sorrowful, or am I being in joy right now while I'm crying? I'm not crying anyway, although you have to understand, to be in the joy. I need you to pick the joy in your life. I need you to understand that joy is something that's within you that's going to help you. You have to understand that joy is something that's going to grow you. You have to have more of it in life, and the only way you can have it is with more wisdom. I promise you, where the wisdom is in the books. You need more books, you need to read more books, you need to be a person who can read books. You understand? You need to have the alphabet with you. You have to understand that you need to have vocabulary skills, because the more vocabulary you have, you understand you're going to become a greater person. You're going to be something much greater than yourself. I promise you, when you're promoting yourself on the street, I promise you, just take it easy. In a way, you're growing. Because guess what? You're worth it. You understand? Because you have to do it for yourself. You have to do something in front of a crowd, because that's going to help grow you. You understand? I promise you that those people who have a problem with you growing, I promise you they're dying. I promise you they're negative. I promise you they're junkies. I promise you they're drug addicts. You understand? So make sure that you never be a drug addict. You understand? Because I've been one, and guess what? It's never the way to go. You have to understand, you be a person who's really lifting yourself, and make sure you're recording yourself while you're a person who's growing. You understand? Because if you don't record yourself and you speak for 3 hours and you never recorded it and you said something positive, I promise you could have inspired somebody with that. So make sure you're always recording the 3-hour content that you do every single day, such as I. You understand? So make sure that you understand that I do 3 hours of content and video every single day, and I speak this way every single day to make sure that I can communicate in a different way every single time about a different topic. You understand? Because guess what? I'm a topic person. I'm a topic person in a way that I'm always speaking about everything, because I'm interested in everything. I love to speak about everything. You understand? So make sure you're that type of person who's a life coach like that. You understand? Because you're all life coaches. You understand? Because you're living life. You can be a life coach too, because you have experience. You understand? You can manage other people. You can lift other people. You can do anything. You understand? You just go and do whatever you're passionate about, and make sure that you go and give a street performance about it. You understand? I promise you, go teach people. I promise you, you'll lift your confidence. I promise you, you'll be someone far greater than yesterday. I promise you, that's the point of life. I promise you, that's the meaning of life. I promise you, the meaning of life is be better than yesterday. I mean, it's really improve one skill every single day that's going to help you to be better than yesterday. I promise you that you can do that. I promise you, you can lift people today. I promise you can lift one person today. I promise you that's kind. I promise you that's happiness. I promise you that's something amazing. I promise you, no matter what, you be a person who can really inspire. You be a person who can really look forward to every single day. I look forward to every single day because I get to be in front of people and grow myself. You understand? Because guess what? Every single day I'm always saying, I thank God it's Monday. I thank God it's Tuesday. I thank God it's Wednesday. I see etc. in that. You understand? Because guess what? Every single day I thank God. You understand? I thank something greater than me. Because guess what? There's always something greater in life. You understand? Because something greater is going to lift you. You understand? I mean, something greater loves you. I mean, something greater gives you ideas and positive ones. I mean, you have to be that type of person. You have to give unconditional love. You have to be that type of person who can really promote yourself every single day. And you're proud of it in a way that you're never proud. You're never proud. You're just grateful. You understand? I'm never proud of the way I am. I'm just grateful for the way I am. You understand? You're just a person who is really never egotistical about it. You have to understand that a person who's pride is always egotistical. You understand? I'm never proud of the person I am because I choose to be grateful only. You understand? I choose to grow myself regardless of what's happening around the world. You understand? So anything that I'm doing today is based on communication skills because that's how to courage today. You understand? Because those people who have more communication skills are able to take more action today. I promise you, they're the ones who can look inside and really be foundational in what they're saying. I promise you, you need to be that type of person who can promote yourself in a way that no matter what happens, you're going to really grow yourself. You're going to grow yourself in a way that no matter what happens, you're going to be a positive person about it and you're going to be a grower, and that's a doer. I promise you, a doer grows. I promise you a doer is motivational. I promise you a doer is a person who's teaching skills. I promise you a doer is a person who's something incredible. You have to understand, you need to be something incredible in life in order for yourself to really help yourself to grow. You have to understand, you have to think about yourself in the moment, because the moment is going to set you free. You have to understand the moment is the truth. You understand? So make sure that you understand this moment much more and meditate every single day, such as the Buddha. You understand, no matter what the Buddha says, have no mind. You understand? Because the mind is ego. You are something beyond the mind. You have to understand, you are the observer of your mind. You have to understand, you're the person who is much greater than this world. You understand? So make sure you're doing something much greater every single day, and make sure that you're never part of the crowd. You understand? Because when you're part of the crowd, I mean, you just slide in and nobody's looking at you. You have to understand that when people are looking at you, I promise you that's the spotlight. I promise you that's where you need to be. I promise you that's how you build courage. You understand? Because courage is built upon communication skills. I promise you boost your communication skills, you can then get in front of a crowd. I promise you, when I used to do drugs, I promise you, I was a person who was a low life. I had no communication skills. You understand? I used to weigh 130 kilos. I dropped them down to 47. I've been sober for 6 years now. You have to understand that I've been sober for 6 years. You understand? In my teenage years, I was a party freak. I promise you, that was never the way to go. I promise you, I was going the way of the criminal life. You understand? So make sure you're never doing drugs today, because that's going to kill you. I promise you, it's going to kill you. I promise you, I've got experience and nobody can tell me how the life is, because I can really see how life is. I can see it. I never think about it. You have to understand that in order for you to build courage, you need to understand that you need to promote yourself more and more, and you need to be looking better and better more and more every single day. You understand? Because you deserve to have great looks in life. You deserve to have something of freedom in life. I mean, you have to do something courageous today in order to get it. You have to demand the spotlight. You have to demand yourself to be better. You have to say it's a must for me to be in the spotlight today and to be able to lead people. You understand? So be that kind of person who can do that, because leaders are winners and leaders will always lift you. You understand? So no matter what, just be that type of person who's going into inspiration. You inspire people every single day. I promise you that you will be free every day. You understand? You'll be a freedom. You'll be freedom. You'll be a freedom person. You'll be a freedom fighter. You understand? I'm a freedom fighter because guess what? I fight for freedom. You can see the Anzacs of Australia. I promise you they went and fought for free. You understand? You need to go and fight for free too. You understand? Because that's inspirational. You understand? When somebody saves your life for free, I promise you that's inspirational. You understand? I promise you when you come into this life for free and you never gave a dime for this life, I promise you that's inspirational. You understand? So make sure that you can live life. I promise you make sure that you grow life. Make sure that I make sure that you really understand that you are worth it, because I realize that worthiness is confidence. So the bigger your self-worth and the bigger your self-love, which is the same thing, you have to understand that's how to courage. So make sure that you go and learn about how to self-worth and how to self-love. You understand? So make sure that you understand you're loving yourself daily, because in the Bible it says love yourself. You understand? So it says thy love themselves. You understand? So make sure that you go and do that every single day, because that's how to courage in life. I love myself so much that I can get up in front of the camera and do my work in front of people, and also speak every time much greater than yesterday, because I'm a smart ass. I promise you a smart ass will get you into courage, you understand? Because those people can lift your attitude. I promise you a smart ass is better than a sarcastic person, because a sarcastic person is fake. I promise you, in life, you're going to have only one friend in life. You're going to have yourself, and you have to make sure that you're growing yourself. You understand? You have to make sure that you're growing yourself, because nobody else cares for you. I promise you, you may have somebody in your life that cares for you. I promise you that nobody cares about your legacy though. You understand? I promise you, nobody cares about your legacy. You have to understand, I will lift you, I will teach you, I'll make sure that you can increase your legacy, but you have to do it on your own. You understand? You have to do it on your own. I promise you, nobody's going to make my legacy for me. I promise you, that's why they don't care about me. You understand? I promise you, I will succeed. I'm successful now. You have to understand, you need to go and build your legacy today, because guess what? That's courage. You understand? You go build the name. You go build your name. You understand? Because that's the only way in life. You understand? Because it's worth it. I promise you, it's worth to be in the spotlight. I promise you, it's worth to go where you've never been. You go there, you realize that no matter what happens, you're going to be that type of person who can do it, because each and every step you take in front of people, I do 3 hours of content every single day in front of people, I promise you it's worth it. You have to understand that each and every time you get up in front of people, you have to realize you're going to get more courageous. You have to understand that this is my public speaking seminar right now. You understand? So I've been doing it for the 4th time today. You have to understand, no matter what, that you go and do it for the next 73 years, because you understand that you're going to live as long as you're promoting yourself. You understand? I printed a nice poster. I realized I shined it on the wall, and guess what? I'm loving life because I'm in the spotlight. You understand? Because I'm successful. I deserve it. You deserve it too when you get here. You understand? When you get inside and you have all the attention, you deserve it then. You understand? So be that kind of person who can deserve it, because that way, when you deserve more, you will also be more courageous. I promise you, a self-worth is also a deserving word, in a sense. So make sure that you can't always figure out much better than yesterday, you understand? I realize that I never have myself figured out because I'm always learning. I'm always learning something. I know nothing in life. I use the Socrates rule, which is I know nothing. I know nothing because I always read something, I always read and leave room for improvement. I promise you that improvement's going to get you somewhere greater. You have to understand, in Brisbane at the moment, it's raining outside. I, although came into a tunnel, I realized that no matter what, I can still do my work. And guess what? My voice is vibrating around here. And guess what? I'm just giving ideas. I'm giving ideas in terms of positivity, as you guys can see in my video. You have to understand that no matter what, you go do the same thing in terms of life, where you can really promote yourself. You're promoting yourself in a way that no matter what, you're just lifting yourself in the process and making sure that you're doing your content. I mean, do it every single day and make sure that you're making 1 hour videos and be in front of the camera for 1 hour and speak, such as I, in a better way. You understand? I mean, what's better for you and what works for you is the best way to go about it. So make sure that you can really never judge people, because when you judge people, you never be courageous. I never judge people, I just lift people. I mean, when I lift people, I make sure I teach them how to really be better than yesterday. And because I teach them that, I'm better than yesterday. I'm never lying about that. I'm never a liar. You have to understand that those people who lie are the ones who are looking worse, and they're saying that they don't eat fatty foods when they're fat. You understand? So make sure that you go and realize to go where the success is, because those people who are successful will teach you how to courage. You have to understand, you need to always learn about courage. You need to learn about 1% of every single topic in life, and you need to keep it that way. And you have to realize that there's always 99% more of information in that topic that you really are interested in, because you have to leave room for improvement. You have to understand that that's the only way of life. You have to understand the only way of life is focusing yourself in a way that you're determining each and every word in a better way than yesterday, and in a way that you're repeating your words, that you realize that it's really about fun in the process as you're growing. I realize that I grow because I can look inside right now and I can make sure that each and every word is going to prevent sickness. You understand? I prevent sickness from my life, so I make sure that I can do something amazing where I never have to get ill. I make sure no matter what that I use my 1 hour rule in winter, where I use it actually every single time in the year, and I make sure that I flip between my 6 hour, I flip between my 6 p.m. rule and also my 1 p.m. rule, which is my 1 hour rule. I realize that when I have a 1 hour rule, I stay away from the outside world for 23 hours. I'm just indoors for 23 hours of the day, you understand? Because that's how I prevent sickness from the outside world. I never have to be around negative people because I'm only outside in terms of into life for 1 hour of the day, because 23 hours of the day I'm inside accommodation. You understand? So make sure that's the 1 hour rule, make sure that you can use it. You have to understand the other one is 6 p.m. rule, which states that I must be going around traveling from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I always must be in my accommodation after 6 p.m. because guess what? I prevent sickness from the night time. I promise you it's very cold out there. You understand? So make sure that in the long run, when you turn 100 years, you understand what 6 p.m. rule means. I mean, you have a curfew before 6 p.m. You understand? Because you're 100 years of age. You understand? So you have to realize, go with the long term. You understand? I mean, it's really the long term scenario in life where you can really grasp something better than yourself. I realize it's really about consciousness and how to really have more of it in life. I promise you, consciousness means more knowledge. And the more knowledge you have, I promise you, the more courage you have. I promise you, the more fuel and passion you have, because you have all this knowledge and you're just as passionate as a dog. And when you're as passionate as a dog, you just go and help people. I mean, you give all that love. You understand? Because guess what? You have to understand that anybody who kills animals, you have to understand that's very unkind to kill a human being and also an animal. You understand? I mean, if you have a dog, I mean, go kill your dog when you're eating meat already. You understand? I mean, go kill your dog too. You understand? I mean, they're the same thing. You understand? So make sure that you understand that when you see a dog and people have pets and then they're eating meat too, I mean, I realize they're cuckoo. You understand? Because guess what? It's really about when you have a dog, you have a pet. I realize that I never have a pet. I never keep the pets. You understand? Because guess what? I never have to. You have to understand, when you have a pet, I realize that you make sure that you never eat meat in the process because you have a pet. You understand? I realize it makes sense. You have to understand that it's really about learn and grow as you go. You understand? Because those people who learn and grow are always going to yearn more in terms of growth. You have to understand, to yearn is to learn. You understand? Because those people who learn will also grow and yearn. You understand? Because just be that type of person who can really make sure that you're always doing something positive around your life. I promise you that's the best way to be. I promise you the best way to be is do something today that's going to boost your attitude in a way that you can communicate daily on camera and video, because in the next 10 years, I promise you, many people are going to go into podcasting and also video work on YouTube and also quotes and also writing books. So make sure you can write more of that and make sure that you can enjoy the process and the journey, because the journey is that you go and become better and better and better. I mean, when you look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I mean, he will never beat the crowd around here. You have to understand that Dwayne The Rock Johnson has so many attention and has a lot of attention in life because he deserves it. I mean, he stepped into it, and you also have to step into it. I stepped into it today, in a sense. So I'm just going to do this for the rest of my life on the street. I don't care because guess what? I'll build my confidence. I'll make sure I'll build my legacy. I'll do something amazing in Australia. You have to understand. Everybody's going to hear my name around Australia. You understand? Because guess what? I'm here doing my content every single day on the street for 3 hours every single day. You understand? Because that's what success takes. You understand? I mean, success never takes anything. I have to invest 3 hours every day. I have to invest 3 hours of my life every single day to make sure I do my passion because it's worth it. In a sense, so make sure you can go and do something more than that because I every day make sure I'm working. I never have the 9 to 5. I work 24 hours of the day. I realize I make 3-hour videos every single day. You understand? I mean, when you can get to the point where you can make 3-hour content videos every single day, I promise you, you're going to be very successful. In a sense, so make sure you can do that. I have to get myself up to 9-hour days of video. I realize I have to get myself up to 9-hour days of video work. I promise you, that's something incredible. I promise you, that's a Tony Robbins seminar. You understand? I promise you, when I make Tony Robbins seminars every single day, I promise you, that's something incredible. You need to realize that when you're a person speaking, you speak better than yesterday. I promise you, when you're a person who is an athletic person, you be something better than yesterday. You do something greater than yesterday. I say peace. I say peace. I thank you very much. I thank you. I realize that you just be a person who realizes that when you have support, you're going to get more courage like that because it's nice to have support. You understand? So make sure when you have support, you always do the fist pump or something like that. You be nice because it's a very kind act to be able to support somebody because it lifts you and the other person. You understand? When you compliment somebody, I promise you that's a sign of support. So be around those people who compliment you much greater because that way you're going to build your courage around those people because they're lifting you. I promise you those people who never compliment you, I promise you they're never your friends. I promise you that in life you're going to have less than 10 friends. I promise you that my only friend is me in life. I'm only growing myself. I promise you that everybody else, when I'm traveling the world, I promise you they're never following me around. I promise you they're busy with their wives and husbands and whatever. You have to understand that once you're around the world, you're alone. I mean, you're the wolf. I mean, you're the eagle. You understand? You're flying. You're flying with the entrepreneurs. I mean, you're going around the world and you're doing public speaking seminars while your peers who you grew up with are still doing their 9 to 5 jobs. You understand? Because guess what? That's never worth it. You understand? So be that type of person who can go and fly with the eagles and fly with the wolves. You understand? I mean, when you're a wolf, you understand that you can go with a pack of wolves and you can go and then you can go by yourself as well. I promise you a sheep that goes into the jungle, I promise you it gets lost. You understand? I promise you it starts to die. You understand? Because a sheep gets eaten alive. You understand? Because a wolf can always outrun a sheep and anything in life. You understand? Because you can understand that you just be that type of person who can go alone in a journey. I'm alone here. I've got nobody else's support except for myself here. You understand? So guess what? Because I love myself so much, I need just my support in life. I never need anybody else. You understand? Because I'm that type of person. I never ask for support. I just lift myself. I support myself. You understand? Because that's called taking responsibility. That's called taking action. That's called taking accountability. You understand? Because I promise you, when you're taking something, you're doing it. I promise you, when you take something though, I promise you that's stealing. I promise you, when you just take, I promise you that's stealing. I promise you, when you're taking, I promise you anything with an ing at the end is a verb. And when it's a verb, it's a doing word. So make sure you're doing more doing words in life. I promise you, when you're speaking and communicating, I need you to word around the ing every single day. Because taking and loving and smiling and lifting is the way to go. Because that's a doing word. I need you to go and do more doing words in life. You have to understand, when you're communicating, you go and lift people through your communication in a way that you're understanding the life of meaning, which is this moment. You have to understand, when you're living in the moment, you'll learn how to courage because those people have no egos. I promise you, the smaller your ego is, the more you read, as Albert Einstein says. You understand? So be that type of person who can understand reading. I promise you can read through audiobooks. You can read as you walk along. You can be a person who's reading in the bathtub. You understand? You can read anywhere. You can read in the swimming pool. You can read inside the beach. I mean, you can have a swim in the beach and you can be reading. I promise you that's productive. I promise you just never just look at the waves. You're reading also. You understand? Because that's something incredible. You understand? You've got always stimulation of something in terms of information. I never need you to go stimulate your mind with drugs and caffeine and cocoa powder and hot chocolate. You understand? Because hot chocolate is never going to get you anywhere. You understand? I need you to go and be the person who can understand to go and drink water and soy milk every day. You understand? Because that's all I drink in every single day of life. I realize that in every single day of life, I just drink soy milk and water in terms of mineral water, and that's it. You have to understand that you be a person who goes and be healthy. You be healthier in life because that way you're going to really build courage. I promise you, courage is built off really lifting other people. You understand? You're lifting other people in a way that you understand you're just lifting yourself in the process. You're lifting something greater in you. I mean, greatness is an inside job. I mean, greatness is inside. I mean, greatness is never in other people. I mean, you lift other people to become greatness because you can never find yourself in other people. You understand? You can only find yourself inside. So make sure that you understand when you find yourself more and more, I promise you you're growing more and more. I never need you to just find yourself. I need you to grow yourself. I need you to understand to find yourself even more than you are today. I need you to understand when you're finding yourself more and more, you always build your wisdom much more and more. You need to be that type of person who can really do that every single day. You're doing something incredible in a way that you understand that you're promoting yourself, you're on social media, you're making sure that you're lifting people on social media, you have a nice, beautiful social media, you're making sure that you're doing something incredible around the world, inside. You have to understand that inside is the way to go. You have to understand that inside is everything. You have to understand that people who live inside are the ones who are smelling all the flowers. I promise you they're smelling all the flowers inside because inside is all flowers. You understand? I promise you that when you're a person who understands life, you're a person who can really lift, and you're a person who understands communication. I promise you, it's really about comprehension. And the faster you read in life, I promise you, the faster you can comprehend. I read at 3.5 times speed. I can read up to 4 times speed now. So I realized that no matter what, I just uploaded my nice, beautiful video where you can understand that you can go and watch every single one of videos within 15 minutes because it's on times 4 theory. You understand? Because every time you read faster, you have to understand to repeat my videos 10 times on 4 times speed, and that way you'll hear every single word I say in a faster realm, and that way the faster you read, I promise you the faster your comprehension skills, and that's how you build courage. You understand? So be a person who can understand grammar and be a literate, be a literate person. I mean, have that literature in you, because literature is poetry, and if you love poetry, or you love music with lyrics, I promise you love words too, so go and make that your passion every single day. You need to make words your passion. You need to make something your passion in life, so when you are passionate about it, you do it for free. Because I do it for free. I mean, I'll do this for free all my life. I never need $20 an hour to do my work every year. I'm worth more than $20. I'll do it for free. You understand? So make sure you understand you never limit yourself with numbers, and you never go asking people for a job. Because look at me today. I'm creating my own job today. I'm creating something amazing over here. I have my own public speaking gig over here. I mean, this is my 4th day seminar today. You understand? I do a seminar every day for 3 hours because guess what? It's the coronavirus around today. I'm lifting people. You understand? I'm lifting people, but I realize that no matter what, you understand, you just go and really understand to do better. You're doing better, you're feeling better, you understand better, you're doing much more than yesterday, you're focusing yourself, you realize that no matter what happens, you're a person of you're really a person of confidence and confidentiality in terms of that you're really positive though. You have to understand that confidentiality means to regret something. Although you understand that you never regret anything, you just be a positive person in a way that you increase your persona and you give those words which are really long. I promise you the more you use it in terms of confidentiality, I realize that no matter what, you understand? Because that is something positive. I promise you that confidentiality means something positive. I promise you that confidentiality is something amazing. You understand? So make sure that you go the amazing way. You understand? You go somewhere in terms of life where you can be a confidential person that is much better than yesterday. Because guess what? Each and every time you have confidentiality in life, you understand that you're going to increase that grammar that you need. And that way, when you're repeating your words every single day in a nice, beautiful way, you understand that you're going to become a beautiful person. Because that's confidentiality, where it's privacy, although you understand that you never be private, you be a person who's exposing themselves, because that's the spotlight. I mean, the spotlight is being able to be in the spotlight where you can understand, you can go into the street performance, you understand you go in front of people, you understand that no matter what, that is the way to go in terms of courage. You understand? Because those people who understand how to use their words even better than yesterday, I never use my words correctly. You understand? Because when I am a correct person, I promise you then I'm either right or wrong. I'm never right nor wrong in life because I'm a person just growing in my words. I always look to never be precise. I look to be better than precise. I look to be just better than yesterday in what I do. So realize that is the point of life. I realize that the point of life is go and really speak with people who are approaching you, because when they're approaching you, you say hi or something like that. You can say hi. You can also focus on yourself in your video. You have to understand that it's really that you appreciate others as they approach you, because guess what? When they approach you, that way you can say hi and how are you, and then you just continue your video. You understand? Because guess what? That is communication skills. You understand? You appreciate the people who are really lifting in terms of life. You understand? Because guess what? When they're lifting each other in life, you have to appreciate that, because otherwise you'll be jealous. You understand? So appreciate people more and more, and you'll never be jealous. You understand? I promise you that way you're going to lift and you're going to inspire when you appreciate the world around you. You understand? Because guess what? Somebody made the footpath you're walking on today. You understand? So walk and make sure that you're appreciative about that. You understand? So make sure that no matter what, that you understand that somebody built this tunnel that you're walking in. You understand? So appreciate it. You understand? You make sure that you appreciate your life because that's how to build courage. You understand? You make sure that whatever you're doing in life, you're doing it in a much better way than yesterday. You're doing something amazing. You understand that no matter what, you just be a person who is never really private in life, although you need confidentiality in life. You have to understand that it's really a term where you use that you go inside. You understand? When you're inside, you're going to really lift. I promise you, you never lift in the outside world. You lift it from the inside. You understand? Because when you're lifting everything from the inside, you're focused more on yourself, and that's called self-love. I promise you, self-love is called everything. You understand? I promise you that this world is made through self-love, and without self-love, you can never exist. I promise you that you be a person today who's passionate about self-love today. You understand? Because that is the way to go. I promise you the people who can self-love themselves every single day are the ones who are going to be grateful and the ones who are going to be much more inspired to do something amazing. So be that kind of person who can do that. I promise you when you're doing that, you're going to be a person who's really lifting in a way that you understand that you're never negative, and when you're never negative, you'll build courage all the time. You understand? So be that type of person who's precise in a better way. I promise you when you're correct, you're correct in a better way than correct. You understand? Because a correct person just never grows. I promise you I need you to be better than correct in life. I need you to be better than everything. I need you to be better than all the words in the dictionary, because guess what? When you label yourself a word, you understand that you're better than that word. You have to be better than that word. I realize that when I say I'm amazing, I'm better than amazing. You understand? I promise you when other people call me something, I promise you I'm better than what they say. I just say, I don't care about you. You understand? Because guess what? I just continue my program. You understand? Because guess what? You just lift anyway. You lift anyway, you make sure you're doing something positive, you make sure that you're promoting yourself, because promoting yourself is called how to courage. You understand? I promise you that's the best way. I promise you the more you promote yourself, I promise you the more you can be at the status of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You understand? Because that guy, guess what? You understand he goes in the movies, you understand he's always working out, you understand that that's an inspiration who's always lifting and making sure that at the top of life. You understand? Because guess what? He's better than yesterday, and that's why. I need you to go and follow the people who are better than yesterday, because those people can teach you something great. You understand? I promise you when you're worse than yesterday, you're going to have misery. And I promise you, you're going to be a person who's doing nothing. I promise you that no matter what, you be a person who understands that you increase your I factor more, because the I factor, which is I promise you, I have a dream. I have a dream. You understand? Because I love you. I increases your courage. I promise you, in this video, I've been using my I and the you. I promise you, I've been asking questions also. I promise you, that's all courage questions, and it's also the way to build courage. You have to understand that when you're a courageous person, you understand that you can speak better, you understand that you can do better, you have to understand that you always look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I love you 100 million times, because guess what? You have to live up to it every single day. You understand? You have to show up every single day, and you have to get up out of your bed in terms of life, and you have to understand your schedule every single day. You have to understand that scheduling is everything. You have to understand that I have to schedule this right here. You understand? So I had to plan it. I had to plan it over 6 years to even be able to be on the street. You understand? So make sure that you understand that it's a slow process, and that journey is slow and steady wins the race, because the race is with you and never with other people. You understand? So be that person who can be that turtle throughout life, because I'm a turtle right now. I'm a turtle. You understand? Because I'm just going slow. I'm just going slow. You have to understand, you be that type of person who realizes I'm really going fast, although you understand that the faster you go, the better. You have to understand that you just go faster in learning only. You understand? You go better in terms of common sense. You make common sense theory, which is this moment. I mean, the more you make common sense, the better you are. You understand? So make sure you're a person who can make common sense every single day, because that's how to build courage. You build courage in a way that you understand that when you understand that how to courage means build your courage. You understand? And you learn from it, and you grow from it, and you learn from your mistakes, and you build your resilience, and you make sure you're disciplined, because more discipline means how to courage. You understand? You go learn how to discipline yourself. I mean, go and get yourself audio programs and videos of other people who are very successful and learn from them. I mean, be successful in a way that you're learning from the successful. I promise you'll be successful. I promise you when you're learning from the next person, and your mother or dad or someone who is, let's say, I realize when you're learning from your mother or father who has less than $1 million, I promise you that you'll never ever achieve more than $1 million. You understand? So make sure that you go and achieve much more than that. You understand? So you have to understand that most people are going to limit you. So be around more successful people. You have to understand that the crowd you're with is going to limit you. So go be around the 1% who will never limit you. You understand? Because 99% of the world is poor and middle class. I need you to be around the 1% of the world who is richer than everybody else. You understand? I mean richer in terms of health, and they're better than yesterday. I promise you there are many rich people who are faking it, and they have fame and they're drinking alcohol. I promise you that's a poor role model. You understand? Because a really successful person is somebody who is better than you say and is never poisoning their body. You understand? You be around those people. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you it's worth to really be alive today when you're really doing something passionate. You have to understand, you be as passionate as a dog. You understand? And you go do it for free. I mean, go and do your work that you're passionate about for free. I realize that when you're doing it for free, you will have all the money in the world. I promise you that all the money in the world can never replace this moment. You understand? Because guess what? I can never be priced at anything. I realize that when somebody invites me to a public speaking event or something like that, I'll go and do it for free. I never do it for the money. You understand? Because here I am doing it for free. I'm a person who's graceful. I'm a person who loves life. I'm a person who loves to live life in a way that I'm better than yesterday. I'm always doing something that's really going to increase my confidence in a way that I understand I mind my own business. I realize it's cold outside. I say I'm not cold. I'm never cold in life because guess what? When you're cold, you have a coldness. I mean, you'll be cold and you'll be sick. I never need you to be sick. I say I'm not cold. I'm never cold in life. I get myself warmer. You understand? Because guess what? No matter what, just be a person in no matter what tendencies that you understand it's positivity that you need. You need more positivity in your life, so make sure that you grace yourself much more. I mean, bless yourself every single day. I realize you need to bless yourself, so say, I'm blessed. You understand? You have to understand, you bless other people. I'm blessing you. You understand? I'm happy that you're blessed. You understand? You bless other people. You understand? You be something greater. You understand? Because when you're blessing other people, you're also lifting them. You're also lifting them in a way that you understand it's about confidence. You have to understand it's about freedom. You have to understand it's about making more of everything that you need. I promise you that you only look at your needs in life. You never look at your wants, because your wants is, I want the Ferrari. I promise you need accommodation today though. You understand? Because the needs are more important than the wants in life. You understand? I promise you that the more you need in life, I promise you is the more you have. I promise you that when you need something, you'll get it. You understand? I promise you need to focus on your needs more, because that way it's more important for you to understand that when other people have what you need, you will go and do what it takes to go and get it. You understand? I promise you that I promise you if I need to get myself very high, I promise you I'll do it, because here I am doing it right now. Because guess what? I'm very high on life. You understand? Because I'm high on life because I can communicate. I can do something amazing. I can do something amazing because it's coming from the inside and it's never coming from other people. You understand? Because I never need other people to talk for me. I can talk for myself. I take responsibility for my voice and my actions and how I look today and how I set up and how I do everything in life. Understand? Because that's the whole point of life. The whole point of life is do something incredible, because then you'll be an incredible person. You'll be an incredible person because you deserve it. You deserve to realize that you need to be on camera every single day. You need to realize that you need to go do something positive. You can see me doing it, you can do it too. I do 3 hours of positive content every single day. You have to understand that no matter what, I say after this video, I have to do some journaling, I have to do some eating, I have to do some really other aspects of my work where I have to read, I have to make sure that I'm always communicating in a better way. You have to understand, I'm always doing something. I'm always doing something that's really going to help me. You understand? So make sure that you're always doing something that's going to help you. Otherwise, that when you're helping yourself, you help others even more. In a sense, so make sure that you're building the momentum in life. I realize that I have entry music when I come over here and I do my street performance, because you have to understand, you need some entry music too. You have to understand, no matter what, you be a person who creates your own music, such as I. I make my own entry music, and guess what? I feel much more calm playing my music around. You understand? Because when you make music, you just go and learn how to do it. You learn how to do everything. You learn the go. You have to learn. You have to understand the go is make sure you're better. You have to understand it's really about go in a way that you're better than yesterday. You understand? Because that's how to courage in life. You courage in a way that you're courageous and you're making other people courageous, because they look at you and they say, I can do it. I realize when you can do it, you have to go and do it yourself now. You understand? I mean, you have to get on the street now and do it. You understand? So make sure you go and do it. You understand? I mean, I realize you'll never be ashamed. You'll never be ashamed about doing it. I realize when you can do it, you go and do it. You understand? I mean, never wait. I mean, never wait to do it. You understand? I promise you when you can do it, you go and do it. I promise you many people say they can do it and they never do it. You understand? I promise you it's one thing to say that you can do it, and it's another thing to say that you are doing it. You understand? I promise you that you go be around the people who are doing it. You understand? Because that way you understand what freedom and successful people are. You understand? I promise you that a successful person is somebody who's more in terms of skills in one area that you need to improve on. You understand? So go and learn from those people, because those are the people who can really lift you. I promise you there is one person in your life that can lift you. You understand? I promise you that you go and see that person and learn from them. I promise you need to lift yourself more than anybody in life. You need to lift yourself more than anybody, because you deserve it. You deserve success. You deserve freedom in life. You deserve something amazing. You have to make sure that you go and do something positive today where you can lift other people. You understand? Because when you're lifting, you'll also be lifted. I promise you when you're giving, you'll also be a given. You have to understand that a given person is a surplus. I promise you when you're a surplus, you're a person who's never a minus. I never need you to be in minus today. I need you to understand that you go and raise your capital, which means go and raise the person you are. You understand? Because nobody's going to raise you throughout life. I promise you that your parents are going to pass away. I promise you everybody in your life is going to pass away and you will be here alone. And guess what? You're alone, although I'm here with you also. You have to understand we're all alone, although we're still one together. You understand? So make sure that you understand that nobody's going to build your legacy for you. You have to understand that realize that we're all together. You have to understand that although we have to lift ourselves, I promise you that nobody can lift you. And that's why I say you're alone in this. You understand? You have to understand that you have to lift yourself. You have to go and do it. You understand? I promise you that nobody in my life that I've ever seen has stepped here to do it for me. So guess what? It's the best decision for you. I realize it's the best decision for you in terms of something greater that you go and do it also. I realize that you go and do it also means you go right now and you do it. You understand? I realize when you do it, you'll also be courageous. You'll be somebody who can do it much greater than yesterday. I realize that those people who understand something greater are the ones who are greater in life. I realize their greatness. I realize they've got something better to say. I realize they've got something amazing. I realize they've got a gift. I realize the gift is your talents. I promise you have talents. I promise you if you can walk, I promise you you've got a talent. You understand? I promise you that you go and realize that you are somebody special today. You understand? I'm special. You understand? Because I'm a freak of nature. You understand? I'm a freak of nature. You are also special. You are also a freak of nature. You understand? You're living this life. You understand? You need to realize you gotta lift in life. You gotta lift because I gotta live. You understand? You have to understand that Shannon Noll has a song that is called Lift. You have to go and really understand that music as well. You have to understand that you go and read and read and read. You have to read more and more because that's going to build your courage. You understand? You build your courage in a way that you understand that when you're a smartass, you be a smartass all the time. You understand? Because that's going to get you forward. I promise you that those people who never believe in you, I promise you that they also never have to. You understand? You believe in yourself. You understand? Because that's what matters. I promise you that you matter when you're lifting yourself. You understand? You matter always when you're lifting yourself. I promise you when you're never lifting yourself, you ask for other people to lift you, and guess what? You have to understand that you have to eventually lift yourself to grow. You have to understand, to make it to 50 years of age, you have to lift, you have to grow from that. You understand? You have to grow in each and every scenario in life. I'm a growth coach, I'm a life coach, guys, so no matter what, you understand that when you're a growth coach or somebody that's doing something amazing in your life, you have to understand, you can grow from it. You understand? So make sure that you're that type of person where you understand you're focusing on yourself, you're doing something amazing, you're summing up your video, you're making sure that no matter what, you're always confident in your ability to succeed and you're making sure that you can boost your courage in a way that you're just always better than yesterday, in a way that you understand that it's always about freedom. You have to understand it's about what can you give to the table and give it more, and you have to understand that you give more than you receive. Because I promise you that's a successful person. You understand? Because giving is blessed. I promise you when you're giving more and more, you will also be lifted. You understand? So be that type of person who can do that. I realize that those people who understand life are the ones who are really growing, who grow from life. I realize that I'm never feeling alone because I'm growing. You understand? I'm never feeling alone because I feel something greater than me. You understand? So I'm always growing into that person I have to be because I'm communicating more, I'm looking through my ideas and what I can give you, because that way I have to keep speaking to make sure that I have to make sure that I always have something to say. So make sure that you understand that you always have something to say in life, because that way you grow. The more you communicate is the more you build your courage. You understand? So make sure that you can always communicate. You have to realize that you write 30,000 words a day about yourself in a journal. I promise you, you'll build your courage as well. You have to understand, you be that type of person who can do that. You have to write in your story. You have to write the story down. You have to understand that nobody else is going to do it for you, and that's why I say that you're alone in this. You understand? So you have to go and do it. You have to write word for word about you. I write 30,000 words a day about me, and you have to understand that it's worth it. Understand? I realize that every single day I do something positive. I do something that's related to my business. I realize that every single day I wake up, I'm always making sure that I have some earphones when I'm sleeping. I put some white noise in terms of delta brainwaves, and that way when anybody's making sounds, I have a whoosh sound, and nobody's really waking me up. Unless my earphones fall while I sleep, you understand? And then I hear somebody screaming or something, and you understand that I put them back on, and then I start to fall asleep again. You have to understand that helps. You have to understand that when you're going and traveling around hostels, you understand that you need to also do better than the people there. You understand? Because guess what? It's not a competition. You understand you just have to do better anyway. You understand? You have to make sure you're always looking better than your next peers. You understand? You have to understand that your peer and your true friend and your true aspect of life is much better than yesterday. So make sure that no matter what, you're a person who's better than yesterday as well. You have to understand you're worth it. You're worth more than your peers. You have to understand that you be better than them. You be better than them in every single way, because guess what? I promise you, when you're more successful, I promise you they're gonna hate you. In a sense, so make sure that you just lift anyway. I promise you that I promise you everybody from the past hates me. In a sense, because I'm very successful. In a sense, I'm always lifting myself in some way. In a sense, so make sure that you understand that when you're going to the top, you're going to be alone, and realize that you just need yourself anyway. In a sense, so make sure that you realize that you go and do something greater with yourself, because that way you'll need something greater. You understand? When you need something greater, I promise you, when you need something greater, you'll be a person who goes and learns something greater. You understand? You go learn information. I promise you, information is greatness, and the more information you have, I promise you, the more greatness you have. So be that type of person who can have so much greatness in you to learn and study and grow, and make sure that no matter what, you're always doing that, because that way you're going to build the skills, you're going to build the courage, because the courage is in the skills, and the more skills you can teach, I promise you, the more courage you can build. You go and teach your courses. I mean, what are your courses in life? You have to understand that you go and teach that. You go and do it for free. You understand? I do it for free on the street. You can also do it for free. You have to understand that for free means you're always going to be for free. You understand? And that way, people are going to really respect you when you're lifting people. I realize that some people will say you're an idiot. You understand? I realize that I'm not an idiot because I'm lifting people. I'm always better than yesterday. So guess what? You never have to listen to others. You just listen to something greater. You listen to something that's helping you. You listen to something that's really going to help you move forward. You have to understand that each and every time you lift, you'll always be more inspirational. I promise you that each and every time you do a street performance, I promise you'll learn something every single day when you're teaching something. I promise you, when you teach something, you never have to be in the house to do it. You go on the street and do it. You understand? Because that's a nice, beautiful way to be in front of people. I promise you, when you're doing it with people, I promise you they see you working. I promise you they see you working. I mean, you're never bludgeoning anything. I mean, you're really grown. I mean, that's the whole point. I realize that the point to grow is to be in front of people doing it. You understand? Because when you're in front of people growing, I promise you that's inspirational. I promise you that many people can never do this. I promise you that they have to go and do it. You understand? I promise you, in order to do it, you have to gain the skills to do it. You understand? So make sure that you have something to say. You understand? Make sure that you are passionate about something. I promise you that way, your passion is going to lead you in front of people, and you're going to demand the spotlight. I promise you, when you're in the spotlight, I mean, you have to hold the fame, as Grant Cardone says. You have to be a person who's holding your fame. And I promise you that when you hold your fame, and when you're a person holding your fame, and to hold fame is to really understand growth and the skills with that. Because anything that makes you more self-disciplined will hold your fame together. Because guess what? It's never about the fame. I realize it's about the inspiration. You understand? I realize when you're inspiring people, you can be in fame. You understand? I promise you that those people who hold fame in their life are the ones who are inspiring people. You have to realize that when you have fame and you're negative, I promise you soon collapse. You understand? Because they have no bricks in life. I promise you, a person who has a brick of houses, I promise you that's wisdom. I promise you go put brick by brick. You understand? Because brick by brick means learning wisdom. You understand? You're building a house of bricks in wisdom. You understand? Because those people who have a straw house, a stick house, I promise you it gets washed away. You understand? So make sure that no matter what, you're building something rich. You're building a foundational, empathetic way of living, which is really speak out more, realize it's really connect more, realize it's do anything more in life. You understand? Because anything more means anything positive. You understand? So make sure that you understand that the best way is right now, and this moment shall set you free. You understand? Because this moment is the truth. You understand that when you're living now, you have no ego, and that's the truth. You understand? I realize that the truth is always in what you see and never in the words. You understand? I realize it's what you see in life. I realize that you have to have faith. You have to understand that faith is your hope in what you see. You understand? So make sure you understand that when you're seeing, you'll always be believing more and more. You understand? Because you have to see life. You have to see life more and more. You have to see long term. You never think long term, you see it. You see something great. You see something great, you do it. You understand? I mean, when you are inspired, you go and do what they're doing. You understand? I promise you that is the way to live life. I promise you, you never think about it. You understand? I never had to think about coming here. I planned it, I just done it. You understand? I planned it first, you understand? And then I said, I have to go do it now. I realized that to do it, I have to walk here. I have to play my intro music to get here. You understand? Because guess what? I deserve something greater. You understand? Because guess what? When every time you understand that something greater in you says that you must go and perform your work and be more passionate about it, I promise you, you have to listen to your heart, and you have to understand that is the best way. You understand? You listen to your heart, you're worth it, you can do it. You have to understand, you always have to say, I can do it, I will do it, I must do it, I'm now, I'm positive. You understand? Because that's the foundational way to build your courage. You understand? You build your courage, you understand that you can do it, you can really understand that no matter what, you learn, you grow, you're a person who's really foundational in what you're doing. I promise you, each and every time you give a nice beautiful speech in front of a crowd, you understand that you'll get some attention, you also boost your confidence from it, and you'll learn something from it. I promise you, I revise, I self-evaluate after this video. I realize that I go in terms of after my public speaking gig of 3 hours today, you understand that I go into my accommodation, I start to self-evaluate how did my day go in terms of public speaking, and then I learn more about it and how can I improve. Because self-evaluation is wisdom. So that's what John C. Maxwell teaches. I promise you that when you self-evaluate your life, I promise you have more wisdom about yourself, because to self-evaluate is to be self-aware. I need you to write more self-evaluation in your journal daily. I need you to understand it's very positive to do so. I need you to understand that it's really empathetic for you to understand to lift people and grace something greater. You understand? I mean, be a graceful person where you understand that you're just a person who needs to inspire much more. You have to understand you need to have that oomph in life, and to get the oomph you have to understand that it's really about energy, and go increase your energy. And the first way is nutrition, and it's also making sure that you're looking better. I promise you it's also making sure that you feel better, you understand? So make sure you go and learn those subjects, and make sure that you go and dive into it and be a psychologist and be a scientist about it, you understand? And be so interested in that, because that is life. I promise you, from that expands everything. You have to understand, from one type of wisdom is all wisdom coming from that wisdom. You have to understand that in the spectrum of wisdom comes the whole life, you understand? So make sure you understand to learn that spectrum of wisdom every single day. I promise you, it's life. You have to understand that life itself will say that you must grow, and if you don't grow, I promise you that life will kick you down. You understand? I promise you that life has no sympathy for you. I promise you need a lift. You need a lift right now, because it's not how hard you hit, I promise you it's how hard you can get hit and get back up, as Rocky Balboa says, you understand? So make sure that you understand to get hit and rise again. You understand? You be that person. You be that person who understands the Japanese proverb when they say when you fall 7 times, you get up back up 8 times. You understand? You have to get back up 8 times when you fall 7 times. You have to understand, you be that type of person who can understand you get up anyway. You understand? I failed so much today because guess what? I never failed. I really grew myself today. You have to understand that it's really that today I felt so exhausted. I was so exhausted to even come here. I realized that no matter what, I came here because guess what? I was saying to myself, I would just listen to some music today. I realized that I usually start off with some mentors and some entrepreneurial YouTube videos before I even start my public speaking gig every single day. I realized that this time I need some music. I needed some music this time. I realized that no matter what, I started to pump music. I realized that I felt better. I realized that no matter what, you go and pump some music every single day and make sure you rev yourself up. You go and play some nice, beautiful music that you listen to that is motivational and that is positive. You have to understand there is a lot of lyrics out there in music that is negative. You have to understand you go where the positive is. And you understand that you just go and rev yourself up with what you love to do, and that way you will be passionate about it. I promise you, when you're passionate about it, you will learn how to succeed more. And to learn how to succeed more is to learn the foundation of life, which is empathy, which is this moment. You understand? So make sure that you're linking every single word together, because when you're linking vocabulary words and you can speak, I promise you can do it much greater. You understand? So make sure that you can communicate and learn communication skills, because that's how to build courage. You understand? You learn every single day something that's going to be foundational in your skill asset class. You understand? You never be middle class, because today middle class is called poor. You understand? I'm not middle class. I realize that I have riches inside. You understand? So no matter what, I'm always lifting myself. I'm never poor in life. I'm never a person who does anything poor. You understand? I'm always doing the rich things in life. I'm always doing something that's rich. I never need you to be middle class either. I need you to understand that those people who are rich are the ones who are never calling themselves middle class and poor. I promise you, they're the 1% of the world who can just travel the world for free. You understand? You go and travel the world for free. You have to understand, when somebody calls you towards a podcast, and you go there for free. I mean, you travel 30,000 miles and you get to his house or her house and you just stay there for 1 hour and 2 hours and you do a podcast for free. You understand? I promise you, that's entrepreneurial mindset. You understand? Because you never ask for money to go there. You understand? You just go there because you're passionate about it. You understand? You're passionate to go and be with that person who's so famous. You understand? So you understand, you go and give the money for your plane, and you give the money and you get there, you give the money and you just go and do your podcast for free. You understand? You have to understand that's the foundation of life. You understand? Because you understand that no matter what, that those people who understand because will also understand due to the fact that in this moment you can be everything. You can always be everything in the moment. And when you're in the moment, you'll be more spiritual. You also understand that you build courage. You understand that a peak performer, I promise you that a peak performer will read peak performance books. I promise you that a person who needs to build their courage I promise you they'll boost their clarity and will read books about clarity and confidence, and also anything to do with promotional aspects of life where you can be in front of people, because that's going to build your confidence. I brought Toastmasters International over here. I mean, I do Toastmasters on the street. I mean, they're doing it in our RSL club today. You know, I'm doing it on the street over here for 3 hours every day. I'm a Toastmaster. I'm doing it on the street for 3 hours. I'm in front of people doing it. In a sense, so I don't care. You have to understand that I've left Toastmasters. I've done Toastmasters for 1 year. You have to understand, I gave 26 speeches over there. You have to understand, I came second for the year. You have to understand that person, I promise you, that person who came first, I promise you, it's politics over there. You understand? You have to understand they vote for that guy who's been there for 13 years. You understand? So make sure you understand that you never care anyway. You're just making sure that you grow. You just be that person who can lift others. I promise you, that's the best way you can live life. I promise you, that's the way you're going to travel the world. And I promise you, you can start today lifting people. I promise you, today you can start your business for free. I'm starting for free. I realize that I'm doing this for free. You know, I'm not starting for money. You understand? I'm starting for free. I'm freedom in life. I never do the money. I never work for money because I promise you, to work for money is the root of all evil. You understand? Because to work for freedom is the best way to go about it. You never be a slave to money. You never work for money. I promise you, it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. You understand? Because you have to understand, money is important when you receive it for free only. You never work for money in life. I promise you, why are you giving your 1 hour of your life for 20 bucks? I promise you, you're worth more than 20 bucks in life. You have to understand, they make you a slave like that. I promise you, when you stay away from a 9 to 5 job, I promise you, that's another way to build your courage. You understand that you'll go and learn something about business. I promise you, business is doing it on the street sometimes. You understand? You're doing it in front of a crowd. I promise you, that's business. I promise you, that's the best business when you have more attention. I promise you, those people who can have more attention can have the fame and fortune and everything, because it's really about inspiration though. You have to understand, when you're an inspirational person, you have everything. I promise you, that's the best way. I promise you, you be that type of person today. I promise you, you will be a person who can do anything. I promise you, I promise you guys that you guys can see me in the next video. I have a nice beautiful topic coming out next. I'll have a nice little moment with myself here. I'll make sure that you guys stay tuned and make sure you guys follow me around. I realize that no matter what, my Instagram is up here. I realize that you guys share me around, please. I realize I have a beautiful Instagram. I have over 4,000 photos of myself up there. You have to understand that you go and check it out. And I promise you, and guys, I'll see you guys in the next video.